Hello, today is February 14th, 2026. Some of you may remember way back here in this day of 2026 that we still celebrated Valentine's Day. I don't know if you celebrate Valentine's Day in your future, but we did back in these times. Valentine's Day is interesting for multiple reasons. It always causes conversation. In my own life, the reason Valentine's Day is interesting is because my ex-wife Sarah's birthday was on Valentine's Day, and we were together from the age of 15 into our 30s. And so that entire time I did not celebrate Valentine's Day because it was her birthday. And her opinion and feelings on the matter were, I'm not going to get you something on my birthday, nor am I going to celebrate this lesser than holiday on my birthday. It's my birthday, I get this day. And I agree with her. If my birthday was Valentine's Day, I would also be protective of celebrating my birthday. So there's that. Since divorce, have I had a Valentine? Let's look in the archive. Opening photos. And searching February. Every time I write February, I always say February so that I spell it right. February 14th. There we go. Okay, so last year, Valentine's Day, my dad and I went to a Valentine's rave at Meow Wolf in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That was fun. The year before that, yeah, 2024, looks like I just went and hung out with the City Church Youth Group on Valentine's night. I guess that was on a Wednesday. Was it? It doesn't say. So what's 2023? Let's see. I have no photos other than some things I did for work in 2024. Oh, no, that was when I hung out with the youth. Okay. 2023, I took some photos of some books at work. 2022, Valentine's, I painted and finalized. Oh, I need to watch this video. Painted and finalized the Ethan Schaefer. For some reason, I can't think of his wife's name right now. Lillian. Ethan and Lillian, I did a painting for them, and it looks like I spent Valentine's night painting it for them, and I have a few videos here that I actually need to add to the archive, and that's a good thing to add to the archive today. Need to export these videos. and have them ready for whenever I'm done with this. Export. I'm adding everything to this super slow hard drive, which is annoying. It just slows the process of everything way down. Okay, so February 14th, 2022. I do not have a 2022 folder. No, I need a February folder. I'm just going to add the, okay. The 2022, then 2021 would have been like divorce time. She would have just asked for a divorce. Because I think that was January 28th or something like that. So very fresh, getting divorced. Valentine's 2021. Valentine's 2022, Sarah and I are in Portland, and we go to this really cute donut shop. I was just thinking, I'm going to capture selected window. No. New screen recording. Record selected window. Oh, maybe okay, I see. Okay, there we go. I don't know what's going on there. Sarah and I go to this Portland donut shop. Put this over here. I guess I maybe don't have a lot of phone in my camera roll photos because we were in New York vlogging and all that. So it may not be. Let's do this. Okay. And I had memory. Here's the photos of the memory of doing this performance at Central Assembly on Valentine's Day 2002. I posted the video of that today. But anyways, I the other things that are interesting about Valentine's Day are the conversations that I overhear people having about whether or not they celebrate Valentine's Day, because everybody has strong feelings on love. And so a lot of people are like, we don't make a big deal out of Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day shouldn't be the only day, blah, blah, blah. And I'm in agreement with that. And then you have the Galentinesers, and me. I guess I just treated it like any other day. Whenever I treated it like any other day, whenever I was single, and as Sarah's birthday, whenever I was married. I told somebody last night that basically, I don't remember what order I said it, but if you are in love and regularly dating, and on Valentine's Day you are like, hey, let's go do a Valentine's date. Awesome. Love it. If Valentine's Day is the only day that you are making any sort of romantic effort, then fuck you. That's what I said. So that, yeah. But then also, there's the truth that, it's Saint Valentine, right? Like it's a Catholic holiday. Yeah, the Feast of Saint Valentine. Which is just a fun thing in this season of I've been practicing and following the church calendar now for quite a few years consistently, where now I love the church calendar of the season of Lent and the season of Advent and the season of normal time. And we're celebrating right now the end of normal time and preparing ourselves for the period of Lent. And we have Mardi Gras going on right now, and Fat Tuesday is happening, and it's St. Patrick's Day, Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, Valentine's Day. These are all Christian holidays in the Christian calendar that, I mean, almost every single holiday is. It is a distilled version of the original, of the martyrdom of Saint Valentine, and what it what that came to represent as love, and then becoming a saint in that way. The first what year are we talking? Let's move this over here. He was a priest in Rome who was martyred in 269. There's obviously lots and lots of info here on Wikipedia, and what my search there was to get how long ago this has been distilling from. And since the beginning of the Common Era, people have been, the first people would have had knowledge of the life of this priest Valentine. Then there's those who, like our Martin Luther King Day Jr. Holiday. I wasn't alive, but I know a lot about the person and the history and why the first few hundred years were in that era. And then it's just a Christian holiday for a long time. But then it becomes so, I guess, ubiquitous within a culture that just the mythology, the main just the main idea is what is known, that Valentine's Day we celebrate love. And that's some people's entire knowledge, that it's on February 14th, and we celebrate love. It's called Valentine's Day. And that's the same with St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. And it's fun this year to be more educated than to be experiencing these in a new way, following the Christian calendar and celebrating the Christian holidays. Those yeah, basically saying that in the Christian calendar, celebration is important. Uh, Processing a lot. It's making me think about a lot of things, but ultimately what I'm trying to express on video is uh, that this year, practicing Lent and these holidays meaning something more, because I was at Kane's Ballroom last night, and King Cabbage Brass Band was playing, and they are like a Mardi Gras band, and so it was very. Not only was it like a Mardi Gras band, but they had a bunch of special guests, and I knew everybody on stage. I knew a lot of people in the audience, and this was our community going to our most prestigious venue and having a Mardi Gras party. And then King Cabbage is playing Fat Tuesday at Mercury Lounge, which is the last celebration before Ash Wednesday of entering into Lent. And so last year I didn't go, but this year it felt right to buy a ticket and celebrate Fat Tuesday, with all my friends at one of my favorite places, and celebrate what we've experienced in normal time, the end of normal time, and the beginning of Lent together as a community, knowing what I'm throwing myself into the next day. Yeah. That reminds me, the distillation reminds me, the distillation of memory. Oops. The distillation of a priest named Valentine into Saint Valentine, into Saint Valentine's Day, into a commercial holiday, celebrated culture wide to sell product and celebrate love. That's what I was talking about. Were you talking about something else? It reminded me of, I said distillation in there, and that reminded me that I have a working definition of breakthrough. And in that definition, it is the distillation of experience and language into a statement of truth that brings freedom, which is a really compact sentence, and what I believe about how breakthrough works in your life, that you have to experience. There's some things you have to experience, but then you also have to integrate that experience and turning it into language. And whenever you say that language out loud, and it is the truth, that it opens you and it brings freedom. It unlocks something. Some things are going to be larger than others, but every opening is breakthrough. So my working definition of breakthrough is the distillation of experience and language into a statement of truth that brings freedom. I believe that's all that I have on Valentine's Day in my brain. Um, I definitely have always been into grand romantic gestures and am a sucker for an excuse to make one. Uh, Whenever I was dating Sarah, uh, when I was wooing and courting, um, we were teenagers, but I would set up like one that I remember very strongly is I believe it's Sarah's birthday. It would have been 2006 probably. Um, and I stood our family trampoline up in the backyard, where it is perpendicular with the ground, and I hung a white sheet on it, and then projected a movie, and set up a like cushioned porch swing. And when she got there, I had made a dinner of all of her favorite foods, which included Cheez Its and other. Definitely Mountain Dew, because Mountain Dew and Cheez Its was like, this was known about Sarah, Mountain Dew and Cheez Its. Uh, and then it doesn't matter, but I'm just trying to see if I can remember. Uh, yeah, I don't remember what the other food was, but um, it was all of that quality essentially. Um, but it was all of her favorite things, and I had my. I, hmm, I think I'm mixing two things potentially, because I remember hanging a white sheet up over the dining room door, because it's just a doorway and not an actual door. Uh, to so where she couldn't see the trampoline sticking up in the back window. Um, and then I had my sister, uh, yeah, serve us the food as like the waiter on this date. Um, the reason I think I potentially was mixing a memory is because I know I did a date like that for my parents, uh, where we wanted to do something special for them, so we did something like that. But I'm almost positive that the white sheet and having my sister service was what happened. And then went outside, had uh, movie time, cuddle and movie time. Um, Grand romantic gestures. So that brought up the memory of me doing that for my parents. Uh, and then, yeah, I've done quite a few. There was one year that um, I. So these are all going to be on Valentine's Day. I mean, a lot of these um, for her birthday. Um, the other one that I remember is I did a scavenger hunt, where I bought her all new outfit, um, f- from things that she has expressed that she wanted. That year specifically, it was um, this was like Target collaboration heyday, and it was like, I don't know what designer it was, but a designer collab that had a reasonably well known name, and I bought her like 5 or 6 pieces from that uh, line, and then I made a scavenger hunt around the house to find all the clothes, and then the last like the scavenger hunt ultimately brought her. She got all the clothes. She like had information about getting ready, going to the car. There was a clue in the car, and the car clue uh, led her on a a, a a quest, and it led her to where I was in, oh, what's it called? Chandler Park, where there's a bunch of rock formations, and we had been like hiking back in there a lot. Uh, and there's this one like rock that it's a tabletop that you can easily be on top of, and uh, I bought a giant helium balloon, like the biggest ones that you can buy from a balloon shop, uh, and I bought felt like pendant streamers, and tied it to this balloon. And I went down in there and then let the balloon up like where you could see it driving. And as she's going into the park, literally this like huge blue balloon with streamer coming down, and she just had to walk towards that. And on the rock, I had table and chairs, and had we were really really into Chick-fil-A at this time. We ate Chick-fil-A at least once a day. Um, and this was like, so, and again, her actual favorite meal. But one, it took her so long to get there that the food was um, well cold. Uh, but had that set up, and then I had like blankets and pillows, I think. Um, Maybe not, maybe just blankets, but uh, we we ate our food, and then we sat on the blankets and watched the sunset. I tried to get her to at least kiss, and nope. I mean, she kissed me. I'm saying like make out on the rock, and it wasn't beyond uh, a kiss. Which in those moments, it's like obviously there's my desire, but then like if she doesn't want to on her birthday, the the gift the gift isn't for me. Um, but that was the the repeated pattern of all holidays, like any day that it would potentially be expected was an absolute no. I'm sure there's some exceptions to that in the all those years, but definitely not on Valentine's Day. Uh, I also, there was another these I guess these would have been anniversaries or Valentine's Day. So November 2nd or November 7th, or February 14th, and it was very cold on that rock. Uh, so I'm almost thinking it was anniversary because it got cold, but in February I would know it's cold. Like there wouldn't have been. I feel like yeah, just some logistics there that uh, that makes me think it was actually anniversary. Um, yeah, we also never had sex on our anniversary either. I'm sure with exceptions to the word never. But the other one was uh, a New York, because Sarah was always, she was obsessed with New York well before I became obsessed with New York. And it it was a New York themed anniversary, or birthday, one of the two. And I found like everything that I could find or think about that is New York like in Tulsa. Um, we did. So I had her sister drove a yellow Mitsubishi Lancer. And so I bought off Amazon a taxi light to put on top of her yellow car, uh, and had her pick Sarah up from work that day. And uh, she took her a change of clothes. Um, and I don't know if the change of clothes was a gift or just sent, clothes with her. Uh, then she changed in the taxi, came to uh, the New York Pizza. It's like literally called like New York Pizza, in Tulsa, and uh, we had dinner at this New York pizza place, and then from there, yeah, I would have drove because I had my car there. So from there, we drove to, oh, and also the taxi light did not make it to the pizza place. It flew off the car, and she did not know when that happened. So there's a story there of somebody witnessing that. Uh, there is a mini Statue of Liberty in Tulsa, and so we went on a tour, and so we drove to this mini Statue of Liberty, and I had a bunch of information and facts about the Statue of Liberty um, ready to read. And so we went to the Statue of Liberty, and I gave a tour and talked about all the things that you would hear on a New York guide tell about the Statue of Liberty. And then we went from there to the Williams Tower downtown, because uh, it is the same architect as the Twin Towers in the original Twin Towers, and it is the same building but half scale. So it is 50, not 100% sure on my numbers here, but it's 50-ish floors, uh, and it's also half scale in diameter as well. But so half it wider and then go up a whole nother tower, and it is the World Trade Center. So we went to this like scale model of the World Trade Center in our own town that is the tallest building for miles around. Uh, And same thing. We went inside and looked at it from outside, and I'm sure took photos. They weren't in my camera roll though, so it would have been. No, we definitely have photos. I remember the photos. So it probably was not her birthday. It was probably anniversary. November 7th. Let's see. Yes. November 7th, 2009. So it was the first year in Tulsa. Yeah, because we stayed in a hotel downtown. Like after we did the tour of the building, I had got us a room at the hotel basically next door. I'm sure we went to dinner or whatever. Or no, we had the pizza. I'm confused because the photo that I found that we did the hotel was in 2009, but I have a memory of taking photos in front of the things, like we're tourists. And I don't know. Statue of Liberty. Yeah, that's going to be by location. Trying to think of how easily I could find the photo I'm thinking about. Just in case it's on not one of the specific dates, but okay. Searching Sarah, and then yes. Okay. It was November 9th, 2012. So we celebrated our anniversary a few days off. Oh yeah, so I bought that shirt for her. Or that's the shirt that I sent for her to wear and she already had it. And then yeah, we went to NYC Pizza, authentic New York pizza. And then the little Statue of Liberty. Taking photos. Oh yeah, and then we went to a coffee shop downtown, and look, people watched out the window. And then there's the Williams Tower, BOK Tower, half scale model of the World Trade Center. These were the photos I was remembering. It was this one specifically. Oh yeah, then we went to Central Park. It's like technically Centennial Park, but there's like there's this building right. I mean, it's the basically the entrance to the park, and it says Central, so we just called it Central Park. Having some panorama fun where she starts on one bench, and then she has to run behind me and get into the next photo. I'm trying to think of which way we would have done this. But yeah, she has to wait till I'm past her and then run behind me, get into the next position, and then wait till I pass her, and then run behind me and get in the next position until I get the full photo. Oh yeah, and then we went to Philbrook and to have an art museum. You know, we're out in New York doing the things that we love, and some Johnny Ive industrial designs in the Philbrook Museum. It is a beautiful place. On the streets of New York. Oh yeah, and then we went to this restaurant that we've never had been before, and it's like a speakeasy in an alleyway, and we ordered Manhattans, um, and New York cheesecake whenever we got back to the hotel or home. 2012, yeah. 2009, we stayed at a hotel downtown, but 2012 was when I planned this New York City date. So she came home to New York cheesecake. End of that one. That's why I love having my archive, because, man, I probably wouldn't remember. I didn't remember it till I remember the doing it, but I wouldn't have remembered all those other details. Valentine's Day. So that is an interesting. What I just did is an interesting thing of going through the archive in parts of the present archive and talking about it. Which obviously is what I set off partly to do in these childhood memories. These childhood memories are a capture of them just in headline form, but most of them do not have, a lot of them do not have photo video evidence. And so those would be stories that would be lost. And then just going through when I share stories, going to the archive and viewing it together. Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to get a NAS. I was thinking about just getting just a raid. Uh, is a little cheaper, um, and also, I mean, plug and play. I mean, it's just done. Um, Plug it in, transfer the stuff, and then I have when I'm here doing this, basically the only place that I would be doing this, it would have to be plugged in. Uh, but having a RAID that is also its own computer that can one give me my own cloud, um, two potentially metadata the archive on its own. Um, I love Apple Photos, and I love the way that I can use Apple Photos on my phone and my Mac to search and organize and keep all these tens of thousands of photos with me at all times in a way that whenever I'm out and about telling stories, I can find the photo so easily because of all the searchability in the meta. Um, and even more than the file meta, like the contextual meta of the, let's see here. There was an icon on top of the Statue of Liberty in Tulsa photo, and I wanted to see what contextual it was adding. It's not working properly. But I have seen that on both of the top brands for home NAS servers have software on them that will pull out everybody's faces, and you label the people and do all that type of stuff, which I don't necessarily need because I have it's already done. But I would love for that to be a feature of CodyJensen.com, to where you can search for my mom and see all the photos of my mom, uh, without me having to manually add that to it, because it doesn't export. Like if I just export from Apple Photos, it doesn't give it that information. Um, so, anyways, um, last last thing before I go would be in the childhood memories. I've been going through the list, and I noticed that I skipped one, that uh, my bike getting stolen and going to court is what I wrote down. Because in the archive on one of my birthdays, I get a new bike, and the bike is a Rhino bike from Walmart. And at this time period, there is a bike called a dyno, and a dyno was the shit, and that's what you wanted. But Walmart had one that was called a Rhino, and so I got a Rhino bike, and I am grateful and excited to have this bike. But also, I strip all the stickers off of it, and I go down to the Enid bike shop, and I buy a dyno sticker pack, and I sticker my Rhino with dyno. And uh, one, anybody who knew dinos took one look at it and knew it wasn't a dino. But that is beside the point. The reason I'm telling you that is because it was stealable, because it got stolen 3 times, and the first time it we went to court for it. Trying to remember if it was the first or the second time, because one of the times it was just taken out of the shed in our backyard. It's like insider, like somebody knew, had seen me riding it around and saw where I put it. And I'm trying to remember if that was the last time, like whenever it got stolen out of the shed, it was gone. But anyways, the point of the story is that I had a Rhino bike from Walmart that I re-stickered to be a Dino bike, and it got stolen by a kid at school who was a few grades older than me. I had ridden it to school, and I forgot to bring a lock, and I just put it with all the other kids' bikes. I mean, it was at school, inside of the fence of the school, but um, it was an older kid at the school who stole it, rode it home, and it it was figured out. However, it was figured out, and uh, we ended up going to court, and I remember sitting in the hallway of the courtroom, waiting to go in to see the judge, and it's me and my dad sitting on one side, and I don't know who's with him. And like my memory does not contain the adult supervision. He's sitting on the other side, and uh, my dad and I are playing Snake on his Nokia phone, and this kid. This is the way I always tell the story. This kid had the audacity to come over and sit next to my dad on his other side, and like, what you playing? And Snake, and he watches him play for a second, and he's like, can I play it? uh, and then he went he ended up getting called in to talk to the judge. He admitted everything to the judge, and I never went into the courtroom. And so I don't, yeah, that was my only opportunity to go into a courtroom, and I still have yet to see the inside of one. Um, and I'm fine with that. We can keep it that way. Um, yeah, so got the bike back. That's why we went to court. When the uh, yeah, the story ends with, can I play? And then he admits it. Nothing happens really. Nothing happens. But I get the bike back, and it gets stolen again. Uh, and I never get it back. Now I'm questioning whether or not I don't have the I have a memory of my bike getting stolen 3 times and getting it back twice, and the third time not getting it back. But I can't remember the other time. Those are the only times that I can recall. Um, they got stolen from school and they got stolen out of the shed. And my skates were what were stolen from Splash Zone. I mean, they could have been multiple things stolen from Splash Zone, but I don't have a specific memory of it. So there's more evidence to believe that it got stolen twice, and the second time I did not get it back. I was going to end this at an hour, and then it got cut off. So that will be the end for February 14th, 2026. Bye.